that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
It's a great fight. People want to see it, then we'll do it. You know, I don't say no to any fight. You know, as long as it's eye catching and eye candy to all of you that are watching right now. That's what really matters, you know. So, however, my main focus is Crawford, and I know so.
Teofimo Lopez has stepped forward to say he wants to fight Terrence Crawford and Jaron Ennis. While this was happening, Canelo Alvarez was having a close relationship with His Excellency Turkey Alshik, which put Crawford's future plans at risk because Alshik recently said he did not want to arrange a fight between Canelo and Crawford since Canelo asked for $15 million, which was unreasonable. I chose to forget about the Canelo fight because I no longer want it. Instead, I will focus on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend. Later, Turkey explained his surprising decision by saying they are now working on fights that bring profit and excitement, which is not something Canelo seems to care much about. He wrote, "I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with huge amounts of money that cannot be paid, so I am moving forward to create big fights that benefit the boxing world, and he is heading toward easy, low-risk fights." Canelo quickly responded to Turkey's remarks, which came after his angry press conference and his fight with Eder Zavala that almost turned into a brawl. Canelo says he was not excited about this fight at all because he and Crawford compete in different weight classes. He respects Crawford as a boxer, but he does not view him as a tough challenge, especially after how he performed against Madrimov recently.
Crawford is a great fighter, and I don't want to talk about that. He's a great fighter, and I have nothing to...
Canelo felt angry about how he was treated and said he might have accepted the deal, but only his way because he does not like how the Saudis run their business, which is why all the issues with Crawford happened. Canelo believes the best possible move for Crawford is to face Teofimo Lopez, since Lopez is not just the best fighter at 140 pounds, but also because he has earned that chance.
Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first, and then we'll see, right? At the end of the day, like I said before, I'm not asking for that fight. They want to make that fight because it's a payday, obviously. But I don't want that fight. I think.
Now that the focus has moved to Teofimo because of what Canelo said, an old discussion has started again about who would win if a fight ever happened between Lopez and Bud. Looking back at Teofimo always asking for fights with big names like Bud Crawford, Gervonta Davis, and Jaron Ennis, it seems like he might finally have a shot at getting the big battles he has been wanting for so long.
Making boxing great again. That's what I came back to do. Because I know as long as I keep facing the fighters, calling out champions like Terrence Crawford, that people are like, this man's crazy. Well, yeah, I'm crazy. I mean, I'm crazy to be great. When was that a problem? You know, and I mentioned that Roberto Duran fought all 4 kings or 3 kings and was a guy that everyone respects highly. Muhammad Ali faced Joe Frazier and so many other great champions that, you know, and got dropped in front of the world, in front of him. Like, who cares?
After watching the Crawford and Madrimov fight, Teofimo said it was clear through the whole match that Terrence's age might be catching up to him because the once fierce boxer was not present in the ring that night. Showing his frustration about this, Teofimo went on to say he would like a chance to fight Crawford soon, since he could see his best opportunity slipping away as Terrence gets older. He said age is catching up to Crawford, and I would love to get Crawford now before it catches up to him later. It is already there, and all I can say now is let us see what he does next. I think he should fight the guy who is coming up next, which is me. Teofimo also shared his thoughts on fighting Jaron Ennis, since Ennis is one of the most well-known fighters in the welterweight division, and as an IBF world champion, he might offer the big fight Teofimo has wanted since his comeback earlier this year. He said, I have nothing but respect for Boots because we have known each other for a long time. It is a great fight, and if the people want to see it, then we will do it. He added, I do not turn down any fight as long as it is exciting, and I can promise that to all of you watching. But despite all these options given to Teofimo, he still seems set on fighting Crawford any chance he gets either this year or later, calling it a major step forward in his chase for greatness. Teofimo said, but my main focus is honestly on Crawford, and I know it is for him too, so we will see what happens down the line and see what happens for us this whole year and for the year after. Meanwhile, even with Teofimo's wish to fight Crawford now backed by Canelo's comments, it looks like Crawford and his team are still doubtful about this idea because recently after Terrence's win, his trainer and strong supporter Brian Butler McIntyre lashed out at Teofimo for his fantasy of setting up a fight between him and Bud. Not holding back, Brian Butler McIntyre said this idea is not even logical because Teofimo brings nothing worthwhile to the table that would spark Crawford's interest. He also noted that even if that were not the case, Teofimo is still nowhere near good enough to fight Crawford because he has lost the shine he once had.
and calling out Terrence Crawford, saying that that's his match.
He don't bring to the table neither. Trash. He trash. He used to be good, but now he trash. You heard it first. Y'all put it out there. He trash. You trash. You straight trash.
Recently, Ade Oladipo, a well-known boxing analyst and commentator, broke down the entire situation and told his audience clearly that Canelo versus Crawford may never happen. He first pointed out that Crawford's performance against Israil Madrimov, although effective, did not reach the high level needed to create excitement for a possible move up to 168 pounds. According to Oladipo, a truly impressive performance was necessary to build major interest for the fight, but Crawford's showing did not live up to those hopes. He gave credit to Israel for his effort and said he did not put any pressure on himself, but he noted that many fans expected more from Terrence.
Number one, I think Crawford needed to look exceptional against Madrimov, so we know that, okay, he's now good at 154, he can maybe take that double jump to 168. Although he looked good, he didn't look exceptional, and that's no slight on Crawford. Madrimov's a very good fighter, but I felt like we needed to see something a bit special for us to...
Looking at the money side, Oladipo admitted that Canelo Alvarez's requests could be a big problem. He said Turkey had made an offer to Canelo which was apparently rejected. Canelo asking for more than $100 million could be a serious barrier, making the fight much less likely to happen.
Maybe Canelo's demands are just too big. I think Turkey said that he sent an offer to Canelo. I think Canelo's rejected it, and I think I saw an interview, or at least read something about Canelo wanting, I think, over 100 million. So, yeah.
Now this fight is only about money. Only a big paycheck can make it happen, but Turkey is not offering that. Jim Lampley, a famous boxing commentator, talked about how this is a great chance for both Canelo and Crawford to earn a lot of cash. He pointed out that Crawford is known as the sport's best fighter pound for pound, while Canelo leads in earnings. Lampley said that although fighters want to be number one pound for pound, the huge money involved is a major factor, especially for someone like Crawford, who is 36 and has a small window left in his career. Lampley said Crawford is the pound for pound number one fighter in the sport. Canelo is the dollar for dollar number one fighter in the sport. What do you think fighters dream about at night as their careers go on? Do they dream of being number one pound for pound, or when you have the kind of money being thrown around by these people, there is only so much time left? He stated that Crawford at 36 has a limited time to make big money. To earn that much, Crawford would need to fight Canelo, who is the top earner in the sport. Lampley stressed that this fight is a vital chance for Crawford to get a huge payday before his career window shuts. He added Crawford is 36 and does not have a large window to work toward being number one dollar for dollar and tasting one or two of those checks. Crawford can only reach that money through one path, which is to fight Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo is number one dollar for dollar and Crawford is number one pound for pound. Now, if we say that the only thing pushing Canelo to make all his choices is money, Canelo Alvarez moving from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing to Premier Boxing Champions shows the money reasons behind his career moves. The switch to PBC run by Al Haymon gave Canelo a rich three-fight deal worth over $100 million, showing he puts huge earnings first. This change proved how major money offers can drive a fighter to change promoters. With Canelo Alvarez now set to fight Edgar Berlanga instead of the long-awaited match against David Benavidez, rumors around the fight have grown. The bout with Benavidez has been highly anticipated, but money disagreements have held it up. Canelo's big cash demands have been a key reason for the delays and the change in opponents. Canelo Alvarez explained why he asks for so much money for a possible fight with David Benavidez. He admitted the risks involved, noting Benavidez's skill and size advantage since he would enter the ring much heavier. Despite these challenges, Canelo said he was confident he could win if the money was right. Canelo Alvarez said obviously he is a risk, he is a great fighter, and plus he brings to the ring on fight night 25 pounds more than me, but I do not care about that. If the money is right, I can beat that guy tomorrow. The right money for Canelo is around $250 million. In a recent podcast, he said that only that amount can make him stand against Benavidez. Even after negotiations, he would not go below $200 million no matter what. You know, if someone is willing to put up the $250 million, I mean.
Would you negotiate down?
No less than 200.
No less than 200.
Ooh.
All right, let's get 200. Hey, y'all, we got enough people in the room. Let's get the money.
Upset by the rude comments from Terrence and his team about his son Teofimo Lopez Sr. said that his son is the best fighter at 140 pounds right now, and for Brian Butler McIntyre to say such things is pure disrespect simply because they want to go against his son. Lopez also gave a mild warning to Crawford, saying they are ready to fight him anytime since Teofimo has shown again and again that he is a skilled and quick fighter who can also move up to 147 or 150 to face Bud, who is called the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He said, "We are moving up to 147 to try to fight this guy, and if he does not want to fight us at 147, we will do it at a catch weight. We could do it at 150 or 154 even if he wants." Even though many people were not impressed by Teo's latest performance against Steve Claggett, Lopez Sr. argued that this view is unfair because in the past his son was able to beat Josh Taylor, who at that time was a very strong opponent. Lopez Sr. added, "People do not understand. My son is a master. He reads you. He knows which move you will make every time you move. We beat Josh Taylor so easily that nobody else in the world could do it." But looking back at the fight between Teofimo and Josh Taylor last year might not be as impressive as Lopez Sr. claims, because although Teofimo won by unanimous decision, the performance he gave is not strong enough to challenge an undisputed champion like Crawford, even with Crawford getting older. Talking about Teofimo chasing after guys that nobody wants to face, Chris Algieri, a former boxer and welterweight world champion, said that regardless of people putting down Teofimo for his loud attitude, he is still someone who does not run away from fighting bigger and tougher opponents, even when he is clearly at a disadvantage against them.
He is one of those guys who fights the difficult fights. He goes after the guys, like you said, Champ, Paulie, that, you know, he's sought after these big fights. He also fights a lot of these tough guys that people don't want to fight. The Sandor Martins of the world, the Jermaine Ortizes of the world. Those are tough outs, and you don't get a lot for beating them. And then when you get raked over the coals when you don't.
On the other side, Chris pointed out the dishonesty that Teofimo has shown for a long time about everyone supposedly ignoring him. This is based on his constant demand to only fight guys like Terrence Crawford when there are many other fighters in his weight class he could compete with in the meantime.
Like I always say, like the Terrence Crawfords of the world, lions and tigers and bears. Yeah, lions, tigers, bears, dragons. You start chasing these kinds of fights, it turns the fans off because you have a ton of tigers that you can actually fight all around you.
Going after big names again, repeating the same points that Brian Butler McIntyre made earlier, Chris Algieri clearly explained that Terrence has no interest in fighting Teofimo at all because it is not worth his time or skill level. So according to Chris, the best move Teofimo could make is to stay in his own weight class and fight guys who are a good match for him rather than chase a fighter who is several weight classes above him. Chris said Crawford never brings up Teofimo because it is not a real fight and it is not an option on the table, so I think he needs to focus more on the guys right around him. He added there are plenty of tough guys near him, and I do not see how Teofimo will jump up 3 weight classes to fight Terrence where he is now. Paulie Malignaggi, who appeared on the same show as Chris, disagreed in Teofimo's support, saying that Teofimo's push to fight big names like Terrence Crawford might not be such a bad idea because it would give him a chance to finally show his skills and prove to the world that he is a worthy opponent even if they ignore his challenges. He said he does call these guys out, but they do not want to fight him, saying they have their own plans or different networks. They all make excuses. People do not really want to fight Teofimo Lopez. Giving the example of his fight against Steve Claggett, Paulie said that if Teofimo gives up his goal of chasing the best fighter, he might get stuck with fighters like Steve, who although solid are not very popular or exciting to watch. Paulie said if he does not do this, he will end up facing the Steve Claggetts of the world, who are decent but not big enough names to bring out his best. He is one of those fighters who performs at the level of his opponent. Sharing the same view as his fellow analyst Tim Bradley, who said that in any sport, especially boxing, there is nothing wrong with a fighter aiming for big opponents who can give them a golden chance to move ahead in their career, and that is exactly what Teofimo seems to have in mind.
Man, he's the type of fighter that fights to the level of his competition. So if he fights a guy like Crawford, he's going to show up and
Responding to the most common criticism that Teofimo is only chasing guys like Crawford for the attention and the money he would make from it, Teofimo said that at the end of the day, every fighter in the boxing world wants to build a name for themselves and leave a legacy behind, so for everyone to attack Teofimo for doing the same thing is not fair. Teofimo said he wants to fight the best guy who will also give him the biggest payday at the same time, so he cares about his reputation, as you can also hear in his voice. Greg Hackett, a well-known trainer, believes that the claims from Teofimo's side about building a legacy by only fighting guys like Terrence are empty because he is just wasting his time when he could focus and fight other fighters in his own weight class. But since that is not an easy option for Crawford, he moves up to higher weight classes. Greg said it is not a serious fight because Bud does not have anyone to fight, but you have plenty of guys to fight like Teofimo. Stop. Greg also talked about how if this unlikely fight ever happens, Terrence will clearly win because he is simply a better fighter compared to a much smaller Teofimo every time. Even after his recent fight against Madrimov, Greg said you come in looking small, he will knock you out, but it is too much for Teofimo, too much in experience, too much in size, too much in skill, too much in everything. Giving his view on the criticism that Teofimo often receives, Greg stated that the most obvious reason Teofimo has in his mind while making all these challenges to Crawford is to take advantage of Bud's popularity, which is a questionable tactic that many fighters these days seem to use.
Us right now, and it would seem crazy, it would seem out of this world if Teo took a fight like that and nobody saw it coming, so let me use his name. It's just like other fighters use.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.